Hey, Julian Pensavalle.
Oh, hello, Patrick Hines.
Hey, fam. This is one of my favorite days. I've been really looking forward to this day.
Yes.
We are dropping episode 1 of our Patreon coverage of Love Has Won, The Cult of Mother God, that Max series that everyone's been talking about for forever.
It's 3 episodes. It's quick, but it is a roller coaster.
It is a real roller coaster, and we're dropping episode 1 right here in the feed ad-free. So all 3 episodes are available right now and ad-free over at our Patreon.
Yeah.
So listen to the first episode here, get excited, and go listen to the rest of it. This is for sure the most highly requested documentary in years.
It is wild. It is worth the requests. I've watched it. It's wild. Good luck, everyone. I don't want to,
give them like a 30-second primer.
So it's the cult of Mother God. So they like to say that love has won and they're all lovey, but they're like the angriest cult we've ever seen. Carol Burnett is alive and well.
We should say there's like a whole lot of like dead celebrities involved here. We say Carol Burnett. We know she's alive.
We know she's alive. On the second episode, you'll hear our like apology.
I promise it'll make sense when you get there. Right now, you're like, what are they talking about?
We know, but you'll realize in the moment, it's like, oh, there's a lot going on here. We were quoting Hope. The point is everyone's really mad, but they want you to think that they're like lovey-dovey, and they're not, and it's just a lot.
It's this lady named Amy who like decides to basically start a cult, and she literally thinks that she's God. She thinks that she's God here on Earth.
And Robin Williams is telling her what to do. He's part of the Galactics, everybody.
I know. So buckle up. All right, we love you. Enjoy.
Okay, we love you. Good luck.
Okay, bye.
She believed she was the Messiah for this age of humanity.
She was always training us, going on live streams every day.
We had to organize as a team.
They found a way to monetize their operation.
More people wanted to come. That's when the drama started to kick off.
The one thing about Mom is that she was going to attract some of the worst beings on the planet.
What's your name?
Father of all creation.
We were born as conscious co-creation, as Father, Mother God.
All this energy, it belongs to us. And if you're not in right action, you're out.
It eventually took her over.
All hell broke loose.
I've been going through some stuff.
This is my fucking house.
We are gonna give you guys the truth.
No! She drank a lot of Kool-Aid silver.
It turns you blue. It's like, what does it?
God's here! God is here!
Surrender!
I am God!
So it's April 29th, 2021. I kind of love how this documentary opens because it just opens with cops go, go, go. 800 miles an hour going to like a residence.
It's body cam footage.
Yes.
And we're in Crestone, I've been told, Colorado. I was right. It feels weird.
What do you mean?
Instead of Colorado, it's Colorado, like Nevada.
Oh, God.
We're in Crestone.
Colorado.
I love that Colorado's right, but I say Florida and I get shit for it. I'll never understand semantics and English language and linguists, but I'm here for it.
It's Oregon.
The cops are like, it is Oregon.
It's Oregon.
It's not Oregon.
Don't you dare.
Did I tell you the time I got yelled at for that before I even did it?
No.
I was doing like voiceover work for radio stations all around the country.
Yeah.
And Oregon was one of them. They were like, Dad, it's not Oregon. And I'm like, I didn't even start yet. But there's a nicer way to say that, brah.
Yeah, brah.
Anyway, this house is filthy.
But when the cop gets there, he gets out of his car and he's unloading his gun. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
They are drawing their guns before they even get to the door of the house.
So this house looks like a hoarder's house, but if the hoarder grew their own cannabis and loved rainbows and Lisa Frank and blinking string lights.
Yes.
Really, like it just looks like it's too small for whatever they got going on.
When the cop gets to the door before they even get inside, this interaction is so strange. The cop says to the man that answers the door, how many people are in the house? And the man says, 5 beings and a child.
And my wife.
And right away, this is a fucking horror movie.
And the
cop says, we have a search warrant to search the house. We need to see the mother and the child. And the weirdo says, the child is sleeping. Mother is at rest. She has rested.
She is resting. She is at rest. She's rested.
And I said, what the fuck does this mean?
So we go throughout the house. And again, we're going in with the cops because it's body cam footage.
And as we're going through and seeing the body cam footage, there's a voiceover, but we don't know who's talking.
Right.
We didn't know what was going to happen. You know, Mom had never stated to us directly how this was going to be. We're just awaiting divine information.
So I want to walk you through the house.
Yeah.
Love Has Won is spray painted on the walls. There's lots of like little kid drawings taped up everywhere. There are more string lights than I've ever seen. And I love string lights, but a lot of them are blinking, which would make me crazy. It's like rainbows and suns and spaceships and stars and dolphins and animals and hearts and smiley faces. And they're all painted on the walls and the ceiling in bright colors. Stickers everywhere. Stuffed animals everywhere. Candles everywhere.
Yep.
There's stuff everywhere. And it looks like if a bunch of 10-year-olds had a house and they just covered it in colorful shit that makes them happy.
It's a craft room. It's a whole house that's been turned into like a craft room.
But then they also had like grow lights and shit.
Yes.
And finally, we get into this back room, and everything we just described, multiply it.
Yes.
Multiply it. More lights, more stickers, more everything.
But
more Lisa Frank realness.
Once again, it's body cam footage, so it's like it's kind of scary.
It is
like,
scary.
The only reference I have for this is the Chris Watts documentary, and like you know where because it's
yeah.
all body cam footage.
And it's dark. And I disagree with turning the big light on. If you know, you know. So it's all like lamps and low lighting, but it's very dark, and it feels like you don't know what you're going to see next, and that's exactly what happens because.
This is the jumpiest jump scare. I've never seen anything this actually terrifying.
Because it takes you a split second
to figure out what you're looking at.
So there's a bed. And it looks like someone is wrapped up like in a cocoon on one side of the bed in a bunch of blankets in a sleeping bag. And the cocoon is wrapped in, you guessed it, more string lights.
Yeah.
So the cops put their flashlight on the cocoon.
Yeah.
And through the blankets. And a second, you're like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
And then you see this blue mummified face with their eyes open, like peering at you through, like wrapped up like babushka, wrapped up like a burrito.
Yes.
And you're just like, is that what I think it is? It is a dead body.
Yes.
Blue face, mummified.
It is absolutely because I had no idea what I was getting into.
Oh, I didn't either.
All of a sudden, when your own eyes come into focus on this thing and you realize that you're staring in the face of a dead
It's like your eyes
body.
and brain are focusing at the same time.
Yes.
And then the closed captions come in, haunting music playing. Yeah, no shit. Also, our mutual friend Robbie Roselle told me about this. And he is very excited that we're covering this.
I know. Hi, Robbie.
But he was just like, I never do this.
I know.
I just think you guys would just, like, you have to see it. I just, for your own, like, please. But he was like, and I'm saying, I was like, I don't even know about this. This was like the day it came out.
Yes.
And he was like, I'm saying nothing. So I just went in. I was like, if Robbie suggests something, I'm in.
Of course.
He's got amazing taste. And he really has never texted me about this. We text about like Daphne Rubin Vega and that's it. And like Drag Race. So I was like, he means it. Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was expecting either. And I was like, oh, I'll like have it on while I'm cooking. Dinner was 3 hours late. I was like, I need to watch all of this. So we start.
New documents released tonight. The gruesome discovery of a mummified woman's body in a private house.
The woman was a controversial spiritual leader of a group that some claim is a Southern Colorado cult.
Members of the group posted, God was here. She ascended. Now it's our turn. Their reference to God is believed to be Amy Carlson, known as Mother God.
We get news clips, and we just learned that the body that they found is the body of a woman named Amy Carlson. They just straight up call her a cult leader.
Yeah, they call her Mother God. The other people in here call her Mom a lot.
And they call her Mom without any sense of irony, or I know this is weird. They call her Mom, they call her Mother. And many of them are older than her or the same age as her.
Mom.
They call her Mom.
Mary is a reporter for the Crestone Eagle.
I'm obsessed with her.
Mary tells us about Crestone. It's a unique town, very isolated. And she goes, look, I hate to sound all new age because I'm half redneck and half hippie. But the truth is, I believe there's a place where the veil is thinnest, and it's Crestone, Colorado. And I'm like, I agree.
Yes.
Like, I get the thin veil thing.
It made me want to go there. I was like, we should take a road trip.
She's like, shit happens here. Weird shit.
Rabbit holes? She goes, rabbit holes, people appearing and disappearing, weird shit. What is a rabbit hole?
Like going down the rabbit hole?
Oh my God. It's like the TikTok videos I was talking about in the other episode where it's like at 2 a.m, the surveillance video catches like the 9-foot tall creature.
Right. Is that it?
I mean, that's one. I don't know. But then we meet Sheriff Dan Warwick. Sheriff Dan Warwick does not mince words. This guy does not mince words. He says it's a small community. Everyone knows everyone. He says Mother God, yeah, everyone knew her. I don't think anyone knew her by her real name. Imagine being like a small town sheriff and this like tribe of strange people come to your community and you just have to deal with it because this cult appears in his town and suddenly the phone is ringing off the hook with concerned moms and sisters
and family members,
and gay uncles being like, can you go check on them?
Yeah, he's like, I knew them because all their friends and loved ones were begging us to do welfare checks all the time.
Yes.
Let's meet some of the disciples.
Oh my God.
They were all given, and I want to say something right at the top.
Yeah.
I believe, I'm a spiritual person.
Same.
I believe in the veil being thin. I believe in finding your spirituality. So I don't want you to hear like, oh, they were all given, quote, spiritual names. Like I'm making fun or taking away from what that can do for people.
Sure.
These people end up being incredibly dangerous.
Well, and they're also indoctrinated. So I think the cult leader, like most cult leaders, is just full of shit. I don't even believe that she believes her own nonsense.
She doesn't.
But these people 100% do. And like you start to get the sense that they would kill and die for her.
Right. And like be spiritual. And there are a lot of things here at first where I'm like, I don't see any red flags, Amy's family. Like I think this is totally fine.
Yeah.
But so I just wanted to like say that. So
Yeah.
I'm not like making fun of them, but they were given spiritual names. That's what they say.
She called me Elmora.
My name is Hope.
The others have lovingly nicknamed me Uncle T.
Mary?
It doesn't matter. What's in a name?
Aurora.
Remember the Manson one where they would get like someone would be like Snake
Squeaky.
and Squeaky, and then the other one would be like Nancy.
Nancy.
And you made the joke that like Diane chose Nancy.
Yeah. She was drawn to Nancy. What are you going to do? Look, like 3 tabs of LSD.
I know.
Nancy's the most beautiful thing you've ever heard in your life.
Totally.
Nancy is like purple. Nancy
Yeah.
is a color and a feeling. It's not a name anymore. Speaking of names, fuck them. What's in a name?
I
Because
know.
Aaron won't. Because I get the sense that the filmmaker is just like, tell me your name.
Yes.
And Erin, who I'm worried for her.
Uh-huh.
I mean that sincerely. She is either about to laugh or about to cry. I don't
Yeah.
know if she knows most of the time, but every time we see her, she has this nervous, like, it's almost like an unconscious reaction coming out of her.
She is one of the scariest ones because you can tell right away that she is all fucking in. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? When I say that like she would kill or die for Mother God, like she's one of the ones that like right away, if I were to show up, if I were like a reporter showing up to do a story, and she's the one I'd be afraid of.
You know, I disagree about that.
Yeah.
Only because she is such a nervous wreck
Uh-huh.
that I think her biggest fear is that this isn't true.
Uh-huh.
And I think she's constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
And she's just at 100. And I just want to tell her to like, breathe.
Take a deep breath.
And just hold on a second.
Yes.
It's going to be okay.
Well, because the next one we meet is Aurora, and she, like, we're going to learn her stories. We'll learn she went
Yeah.
to law school.
Yeah.
We get all of their stories eventually. And like the thing that just kept hitting me over and over again is that each one of these people found Mother God at a very vulnerable time in their life.
that's the whole,
You know?
I mean, that's it.
And like,
that's every cult.
Like Aurora is the opposite of Erin. She has no nervous energy. She is bought all the way
Yeah.
in. She believes in hook, line, and sinker. If there was ever a time of doubt for Aurora, that time is gone.
It's
She
gone.
believes in this. She's got a look in her eye that doesn't even feel human sometimes.
No.
You know?
The interviewer asks, what happened to Mom's body?
It's one of the questions that I'm still asking myself and the angels.
Nothing that applies to regular ego-programmed mind humans applies to this woman.
Like, I'm sorry, people in cults have the biggest egos.
Yes.
So for you to be ranting and raving about like the ego-driven mind,
I know.
the people in these cults have big, because they're right and you can't question them, and it's either you're in or you're out.
What?
And what says more about the ego?
Totally. Like we meet a bunch of their parents eventually, and Hope's mother is the one that's like, when I would listen to them talk, I could not understand a word they were saying. And that's how I feel so many times listening to them talk. Because I'm like, they're saying spiritual words and then like things that are in jokes or just in speak and like language they only understand. That is part of the cult behavior because you have to make it feel like it's us against the world.
Right. And like they're weeding out the outsiders.
Yes.
And
yes.
they're getting the people who like sort of latch on to something.
Yes.
So, like, even El Moyer was like, I wonder what they'll find. And then he sort of has this, like...
He's talking about what they're going to find if they do an autopsy, because the legend is that she has 3 hearts.
We always said she had 3 hearts.
Aurora,
and that's scary to me.
Aurora says, people think we're crazy, but Mother God's body was warm. It never got cold. It was a mummified corpse that we're going to find out had been, like, quote, at rest for weeks.
Yeah.
And Aurora wants me to believe that her body never got cold.
That's not true.
No.
Kevin Kobach is here. He's
He's
kind
of here. He's kind of here. He's from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and he's doing an interview.
And someone's in custody.
Yeah.
And Kevin really trying to get this guy to think that, like, Kevin's not a threat.
Uh-huh. But also, like, Kevin also a little bit has no time for anybody's shit.
And Kevin's like, all right, so I'm aware about the 5th dimension and the portal and everything, but let's talk about what happened to Mother God.
Yeah.
I spoke to your friends. I know all about the 5D.
Okay. I know all about the 5D, the portal, and the fifth
100%.
dimension. I got it.
But Mother God.
Oh, wait, the 5D is the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
So he's like speaking the language.
Right. He's trying to get this
God.
guy to open up. I know all about the 5D and the portal. I'm with you.
I know the
Can't wait. Aliens, take me away. Before that, let's talk about Mother.
I know.
So some of the members, like right now when this starts, right? Because we start with the body cams and stuff. Some of the members have been arrested. Some of them bailed to Vermont. They don't want to get arrested. They're never going to go back to Crestone again.
Can we talk about this for 5 seconds, though? Because like by the time they start filming this documentary, I have questions about this because we learned it's only been 3 weeks since Mother God died.
Yes.
And the filmmakers are with the cult. The ones that have escaped to Vermont, they are with them.
So the director, her name is Hannah Olson.
Okay.
And she must have been following the story because she was ready to
there.
go.
Yeah. And like she's not in the cult, is she?
No.
So she's an outsider because like she's getting this crazy footage. Like they're in Vermont. There's this
We're like at the cult. We're in the cult.
Well, we're seeing this footage of this woman screaming.
Our fucking kids! Our fucking kids!
And look, I get it.
Yes.
Sometimes you just want to sob and scream that nobody fucking cares and collapse into somebody's arms. If you haven't felt that way in your life, you're lying.
I guess
for
so.
at least 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Please,
Haven't we all kind of been there for 5 minutes? But
Yes.
like and that's how it happens. How many times have we heard from these experts? No one joins a cult.
Right.
They're joining like-minded people who feel alone, who feel that nobody cares,
Well,
and they're hugging you.
I don't even think that these people are like-minded. All of them are vulnerable and they desperately need something. And they're being invited. We'll get there. Oh my God.
But this woman, we don't see her again.
Exactly.
So she might have gotten the release she needed and then looked around and said, I want to go home.
Yeah,
I'm going home. I'm staying in the 3D,
You know, I'm gonna-
fuck your 5D. I'm staying right where I am. So, like, who is Amy Carlson? How do you know she's God? What is the point of all this? And all these cult members are like, it's just a feeling.
I mean, like,
Just a
Hope
feeling.
is saying, like, you have to be open to seeing her as something other than Amy Carlson to understand that she is God.
Okay.
They believe that Amy Carlson is God.
Among many other people.
Yes.
So, Commander Buddha, born and raised Catholic.
Yes.
And we meet him. I don't know if this is just bad editing or what. But he's like, I would look at the priest and be like, where's his wife? Where's his counterpart? And it struck me once again that I love how these cults rant and rave about how to open your mind and throw out the mainstream, but then they're so heteronormative. Where's his wife?
Not only are they heteronormative, they are fucking Trumpers.
They're QAnon Trumpers.
I know.
But like they don't even hear themselves.
Right.
Where's his counterpart? Where's his wife? His wife?
And no, that's not to say that gay people can't be horribly abusive cult leaders, because we covered that other documentary in which that was the case.
Yes.
But like it is weird that like whenever the cults don't mention the gays, I do feel slightly left out.
But it's also like, open your mind, man.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, you're a sheep, man. And I'm like, all right, you just want everyone to be married to like man and white. Like what?
But they also want us to think that they're so open-minded. Like we meet Dylan next.
I did a lot of psychedelics, so I would start to see things that would prove the reality that I live every day wrong. So when I heard that God was on the planet and she's a woman, I was like, that makes total fucking sense.
So many of them, they discover psychedelic drugs for the first time and decide that that's reality and that they've been robbed of it.
Well, God is a woman, so
of
that's
course.
fine.
Like these things can all be true, and you can go do your psychedelics and live with your mother of God.
course.
You just can't hurt people.
Right. That's the thing.
You know?
And the reason we have so much footage is everything this woman and this group did was documented, either in writing, like Hope has dozens, I'm not kidding, dozens, maybe hundreds of journals, everything she ate, everything she said, what time she did it.
They followed her around all day. They're saying this is the real documentation of the story of Jesus.
And-
They think that she is also Jesus.
So they're either recording and writing everything that she did, filming her, or live streaming.
I can't decide if I would love that or hate that.
I
if
would
I had
hate
a
that.
bunch of disciples following me around, writing down every single thing
There's
that I
nothing
did.
about this that's appealing to me as the cult leader.
I know. No, I couldn't agree more.
Like-
because at the end of the day, you're responsible for feeding these people. You know what I mean? Like and they're around you all the time. And you have to keep up the facade of actually
I
being
know.
God.
God, the pressure.
Oh,
no pun intended. God, the pressure. But it's also like, we talk a lot about how people really needed something like Hope and Dylan. Like
Yeah.
they were just sort of everything aligned and they were very vulnerable. But like Amy needs a lot too.
Mother God.
Mother God, she needs validation. She needs people to adore her. She needs people to love her. She needs to be propped up. Like the cult leaders are very needy too.
100%. The cults wouldn't exist without the need of the cult leader.
The obsessive need of like, it's just me and you love me and no questions and no anything. Us versus them and it's me, me, me.
We also learned that in past lives, she was Joan of Arc, Cleopatra, Marilyn Monroe. I wrote, of course, she was Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, they just have Mayan princess / queen. She didn't have a name, I guess. Buddha's like, and if you look closely, bro, she looks just like Marilyn Monroe, if not hotter.
If not hotter.
Well, Marilyn Monroe aside, Mother has a team of galactics.
This is the Galactic A-Team. So those were Mom's main ambassadors. They were with her all the time. That's Saint Germain, and that's obviously Robin Williams. Every person in this picture is no longer alive, but they're on Mom's etheric team.
We see this like vision board of all of her galactic A-team members.
I wrote them down.
Yeah, okay, great.
So it's a collage of a bunch of photos.
Yeah.
She's at the top in the middle.
Of course.
Robin Williams, the Robin Williams is on one side of her.
Her right-hand man.
Saint Germain is on the other.
Yeah.
Elvis is actually Mom's son, we learned. Also pictured, this is a long list.
Oh my God.
Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Steve Irwin, Gene Wilder, John Denver, John Lennon, he's in command of the main starship.
Leave Steve Irwin out of your mouth.
Judy Garland,
God.
Leonard Nimoy,
No.
David Bowie, Prince, Tupac, Chris Farley, Patrick Swayze, Carrie Fisher, George Michael, John Ritter, Walt Disney, Bob Marley, Carol Burnett, Mr. Rogers, Regis Philbin, Jim Henson, George Burns, Richard Pryor, John Candy.
And
everyone in the photo is dead.
Except
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
He's in the physical, but still on the team, says Hope. But I gotta say, Robin Williams was Mom's main ambassador.
Yes, of
Robin
course.
Williams is a huge part of the cult, and I personally take offense, and that's not a joke.
I know, I couldn't agree more.
I think it is so rude the way they talk about him. He has a family now, and like he's a very big part of this. Humanity's gonna see that. Like, leave Robin Williams out of it. And I am not saying that to be funny.
My whole thing is like, can you imagine the first galactic A-list meeting where it's like Judy Garland and Donald Trump? Can you imagine that?
Well, he's living, so hopefully he's not.
True.
He doesn't talk to the galactics, but who knows?
I mean, TikTok, you know what I mean?
But also like John Ritter.
I know.
Like
Regis Philbin.
I mean, so many. I mean, it could really be a party. Carrie Fisher.
I know.
Carrie Fisher, John Ritter, and Reg and Carol Burnett. It's like she's not 100% right. These are great people to have advising you. But
and I gotta say, when we learned about who she was as like a regular person, she doesn't seem interesting enough to care about all of these people.
Right.
Like, do you think she read The Year of Magical Drinking?
No.
Okay.
But she's also, we learn more about her, like she wants to be a musician. So if you look at these people, like, or she wants to be a singer at least, like, which is the same thing. I'm just saying. I'm just saying she wasn't like a classical. I'm just saying. But the list of these people, Whitney Houston, they're creative. They're either comedians or musicians.
Yeah.
Akira Kurosawa, a filmmaker.
It just seems like a long list of actually interesting people that I'm surprised she knows about.
Right.
Oh, and now, oh my God, now we meet Amy's mom.
Linda.
So...
What?
Linda.
Her name's Linda.
I love her. It was so amazing to get Amy's mom, Linda, at this point, because all we've been seeing are people that, like, I cannot connect to or relate to in any way. Just the way they are in the world, the way they've decided the world. Like, it was nice to see a grounded, centered person that I could have a conversation with.
Well, and the way it's done is very effective because we meet Linda, and the first thing she says is, she was never Mother God to me. She was Amy. Like, she was my daughter.
Right.
And so we learn about Amy a little bit. We will learn more about her in later episodes.
Yeah, we jump back to 1975. Amy was born in a little town called McPherson, Kansas, and we hear her audio diary, like the narcissism.
Oh my
God.
God.
Narcissism, like she doesn't even hear it herself, but she says,
it was Tornado Alley. Like I went through, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Dallas, Houston. Tornadoes showed up wherever I was.
That was you, Amy. That was all you.
Hey, I'm glad they're not being blamed on the gays for once.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
She's just summoning tornadoes. Also, don't do that. They're very harmful.
I know. But it's like weather events. Just follow because she's a divine creature.
She can't help it.
Yeah.
She just can't help it. She's walking on water and summoning tornadoes.
Linda says we were poor. The kids ate hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. We had donuts in the freezer, to which I was like, that sounds delicious. A frozen donut? Give me one of those. I want a frozen donut right now.
Thaw them out.
I know. Or don't eat them cold.
No.
I think that's like suck on a donut.
Go
suck on a donut,
Go
GB.
suck on a donut.
You know what?
Go suck an egg, like from Dick Tracy. But Linda says, like, my kids never knew they were poor.
Right.
I just, that's, and also mac and cheese is great. Donuts are great. What are we talking about
Daisy
here?
ate mac and cheese last night. She ate the whole box.
Good for her. What kind? Very important.
We do the Auntie Annie's or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Annie's is great. The little bunnies.
Yeah, little bunnies. She loves them.
Love them.
But Linda says Amy was her firstborn. She had her when she was 20. She was a beautiful baby with a lot of hair, kind of mischievous, but a good kid, really sweet to her sister, who we'll meet. I love this sister.
Yeah, and it's her younger sister. So they said since Amy was the oldest, she was pretty much the leader. Interesting. Yeah. She loved being in plays, loved playing dress up. She wanted to be a singer. Amy was 7 when her parents got divorced, and Linda explains that she just didn't want her kids growing up in an environment with no love.
Yeah, and she says it was like her and her 2 kids against the world. She goes, we were happy. We were a family.
Yeah.
Just very, very average, normal, regular. Nobody's God here.
Nobody's God
No
here.
one's God.
And God is everywhere.
And God is the planet.
Which
and
is
the
true,
planet
like God
God
is everywhere.
I know.
God. Sorry, sweetheart. I keep saying your name. That's a League of Their Own quote. Anyway, so Amy was a good student.
You think there are people in this country who haven't seen your
Who ain't
bosoms?
seen your bosoms? May, center field lead off. She's good. So then I was just like, speaking more movie quotes coming your way, everybody. I'm so sorry.
I mean, it's Robin Williams everywhere you look.
But not yet. We'll get to seeing Robin Williams later. But her mother says,
Amy had dreams. She wanted to go somewhere. She wanted to be somebody.
And I just thought of Sister Act 2. You want to be somebody. You want to go somewhere.
Are you
better
ever
wake up and
not
pay
thinking of Sister Act 2?
attention. No.
No, of course
It's
not.
always like
right there.
The Sister Act.
You know, Bette Midler
duo.
was supposed to be it, and she said no, and we got Whoopi out of the deal, and that's like the best thing that ever
great.
happened. Yeah.
Great.
Not that Bette Midler's not amazing, but Whoopi Goldberg all day, every day.
No, but everyone made the right choice.
Right.
That did Hocus Pocus.
And Hocus Pocus 2, which was a travesty.
I mean, but Hannah Waddingham is in it.
I
It's
know.
just, what are you going to do? 1998, Amy is managing a McDonald's in Dallas, and let me tell you, she was running shit.
Let me tell you, she was very proud
Let
of...
me tell you.
I wanna
Excuse
tell
me.
you now. She was very proud of, she started as a manager, and she loved being a manager, and they say her employees loved her because she knew their personalities and what to say to make them feel good. And I was like,
any cult leader.
Mom, you don't even know the foreshadowing you just gave us.
Like Amy's mom.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm saying mom. Like,
not
you don't
mom.
No.
Not Amy mom.
No,
Amy's actual mom.
The actual mom.
Yeah, like any good cult leader, she gave everyone exactly what they needed.
But it's kind of like you come to a place in your life when you can use your powers for the forces of good or the forces of evil.
And you have to make a choice.
And you have to make a choice. And Linda, the mom, is saying, like, Amy wanted to move up the ladder, make more money, more money, more money. And Linda says that's where Amy was going.
Yeah.
But then something changed. And what was it that changed? She tried taking ecstasy for the first time. Now, ecstasy is not a psychedelic drug, but they treat it in this instance as though it is a psychedelic drug.
Yeah.
And because, like, we're seeing all these, like, psychedelic images.
It's not, no.
It's not, but we're also hearing Amy in her own audio diary describing the experience.
Within 20 minutes, I was like, what in the hell? Phew. I was like, wow. Holy shit. I was just rolling in these waves of love and joy and happiness. It's like, this is reality. Did they take that from me? Who stole this?
But Amy, like a lot of the people in this documentary, are describing what they're describing this like amazing, unbelievable experience as real reality. I wrote, of everything in this episode, this stands out to me the most.
Yeah.
Because we don't know about Amy's life. We know that, like a lot of people, Amy wanted something bigger than what she had. She wanted to experience, like, she wanted more than what her circumstances were providing her.
Yeah.
Now, my understanding, just based on her experience, is that, like, ecstasy takes all of the good things in your brain for the week and gives it to you all at once. And she believes that that is the reality. Like, the idea that somebody stole that from her is so telling of her personality.
Yes, that's what it is. It's not like, wow, like, how can I get this naturally? Or how can I, or like, wow, that was a really great experience and maybe I'll do it again if it's pure MDMA and I know it's safe and I have plenty of water and someone's watching me or whatever. But who stole this from me?
Right.
And we'll learn more about Amy's life. Like, she went through some not great situations in her life. Like, her relationships weren't always great, and the relationship with her father's new wife wasn't great.
It's weird. Like, in a different way, there's a lot of, like, Sarma Mingelis energy here. Like, I feel like Sarma could have been a cult leader. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like,
From Bad Vegan.
From Bad Vegan. Like, they seem like similar women to me. I don't know why.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So now we meet Amy's sister, Tara.
I love Tara.
And Tara says...
There was some things, little tiny hints. You know, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's spiritual. I thought she was searching for something. She was searching for a friend, or she was searching for an out.
This is where they start to describe Amy sort of becoming the cult, or like finding her way into, quote, spirituality.
Right, because she was always on the computer. And this is like 2005, 2006. Yes. So she was always on these message boards, reading about spiritual things, on spiritual singles. And I'm like, not a red flag yet.
I know.
I don't see anything wrong.
I know.
Like, sorry.
I know.
But Tara says, like, then she started saying things that made me go, like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's like she started talking and like using weird words, like saying earth equals heaven. The present is now.
Yeah, but the present is now.
The present is now. Like, I know. But she's talking about angels and the energy and the 5D.
The 5D is where you lose me.
Right.
Everything up until that. If you want to talk about the angels and like energy and vibes and like the fact that the present is now.
Steve loves a band called The Fifth Dimension. Up and away on a beautiful balloon.
Oh my God.
And
Are they
then
from the 70s?
Yes. And like afternoon delight.
Oh, that's afternoon delight.
Yeah.
Okay. Sky rockets
it's in flight.
Boo!
Afternoon delight.
Okay. I got it.
I'm just saying, you know, the fifth dimension isn't all bad.
Sure, if you want to boogie.
But like after this experience with ecstasy, the mom says she just up and quit McDonald's.
She just quit?
She just quit.
She can't believe it.
No.
So 2006, we meet Emerith, I think is how you say it. White Eagle. And Emerith White Eagle, he is the like not problematic side of this.
100%.
He's like what I think where I'm like, no red flags. Yeah, just a guy who like wants to connect, right?
No, he's very old though. Like
he's not like
but like she's, I don't know, in her early 20s.
There's an age discrepancy.
And he's like at least in his 60s.
First time I encountered Amy was on the lightworkers.org. Lightworkers.org was a spiritual community of people connecting into the higher vibrational frequencies of nature.
So Amy and Emerith, they're talking constantly online for 17 days. And after 17 days of chatting online, they meet in person. So they were each other's twin flames. And I'm like, oh God, here we go.
I know.
So at one point...
You're my twin flame in some ways.
You listen to the podcast, didn't you?
But a long time ago. I would also probably be in a cult. It wouldn't be that hard to get me into a cult.
Well, again, no one joins a cult.
I know.
You just wake up one day and you're
like,
in one, and
shit.
and then you're too far gone, and you have too much pride and too much ego, and then you can't get out of it.
I wonder, like,
or you've given them your whole money, you mortgage your house, all your money, like. Then suddenly you wake up and you're like, shit, I want to go home.
I know, but you can't. They own you now.
Or
you got that dead lady in the sleeping bag, and it's been 20 days, and now you're taking the body across state lines.
If you get sucked into a cult, I'm going to say this right here, right now.
Yeah.
This I will say on the record.
Yeah.
You can call me anytime, and I will come get you.
You'll get me out of the
Of
cult?
course I will.
All
There's
right.
no judgment. If you get in too deep, this is to any of my friends in my family. If you get in too deep and we have to sever ties because you're just not listening, and you have to hit your rock bottom. If you call me at 2 a.m. and you say, I want to go home.
I'm just trying to figure out what the cult would be like about. Because they couldn't be one of the ones where you're not allowed to sleep. It couldn't be one of the ones where you're not allowed to drink.
Right.
It couldn't be one of the ones where, like, I don't know. Like, I have a lot of rules.
It would be something where, like, Steve and Daisy could come.
Yes, of course.
Because you wouldn't leave Daisy.
No way.
So it would have to be one of those, like, but it's super hippy-dippy, usually the ones with the family. We'll figure it out. Or we won't. You just won't join a cult. Right. But at one point, Amy's mother, Linda, is like...
I still thought it was just spiritual, you know... I never realized that it was going to turn into this. I mean, she wasn't that type of person.
And I'm like, you want to say either
mumbo
bullshit
jumbo.
or mumbo jumbo. I could see it. I was right on the tip of her tongue. I saw it.
The thing is, it's like Aramith. Is that how you say it?
I think it's Amarith.
Amarith tells us it was 17 days from the day that he met Amy on this website to the time they, quote, connected a physical presence. Does that mean sex?
Or some kind of like, if they're twin flames, then it's like your soulmate times a million.
He goes, it was simpatico. And like, the thing about it is, once again, he's in his mid-60s. He's gotta be. And she's 21.
Yeah.
Which, like, fine. They seem to, like, love each other and be very happy. But, like, it's from him, Amarith, who gives us 10 minutes about how UFOs were all over the skies at Crestone.
Well, Crestone really is super spiritual.
I know, but like we see all this video of Amy out on the prairie taking like videos of clouds.
You guys are just clouds.
She's convinced they're UFOs, but only they can see them.
At one point, she goes, "Hi guys, love you." They're clouds, though.
They're just clouds. They're not UFOs. They aren't.
But they're just clouds. I'm not saying UFOs don't exist.
I know.
We cannot be the only creatures in this universe. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Talk about narcissism and ego.
Right. Yes.
Like we're the only planet with people. Give me a break.
I totally agree.
However, those are clouds. Several things are true at once.
Yeah.
Aliens exist.
And those are clouds.
Those are just clouds.
They're just clouds.
They're beautiful clouds.
They are gorgeous.
Take photos
clouds.
of them.
I couldn't
They're
agree more.
seeing rainbows and everything.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Crestone seems kind of like my jam. But
so like, Amareth and Amy are like, they're talking about ascension, stepping out of the programmed world, training higher vibrational consciousness. We wanted a heaven on earth where everyone could be a part of it, like a family. They're talking about a cult.
And he's like, I just want to be free. And like, he's like, everyone can be spiritual. Everyone can feel God. Like, that's kind of where Amareth is.
But the difference between Amareth and Amy, he goes, it seemed important to Amy to put her messages online to share with a larger number of people. She wants to be a fucking cult influencer.
She wants attention.
She wants an audience, yes.
And so they start releasing the Galactic Free Press. They start calling themselves Mother and Father God. I think this is all Amy's idea.
Yes.
This is Mother and Father God and the Earth Allies. And we declare peace on Earth, equal heart.
Peace on Earth.
And Amareth is like, he's all about like flashing peace signs to people. And
he's from another time, Amy.
And he's like, yeah, Amy thought she was like more God than everyone else.
Yes.
Like you can tell this is not what he signed up for. He wanted to live off the grid and watch the UFOs and like, be one with nature.
Date this hot 21-year-old.
Right. But like, he didn't really, he was kind of like, oh, we're doing this Mother God thing.
Yeah. Right. Which is exactly how I would be.
I really just wanted to smoke.
When Philippi gets me alone and he convinces me to leave my family and we are living in Crestone and we're having the time of our lives and then all of a sudden he's calling me Father God and he's Father God and we're co-Father gods together.
That's just an affair.
That's just an affair. But then it's like when Philippi starts writing for the Galactical Free Press or whatever is where I draw the line even with him.
Williams, please. Now, Mary the journalist, remember who we love, the half hippie, half redneck?
Yeah.
She's like, Amareth was the first father god, but, and I quote, he was like Prince Philip to Queen Elizabeth.
No power.
Now, I don't think Amareth wanted power. He didn't care about that.
Yes.
Like, and he even says, Amy took the jewels and the information I shared with her, and then she turned it into her own thing.
Yeah.
And he says later, but I'm going to say it now, she needed followers.
Yes.
He says that. She wanted the followers, whether he meant it online or otherwise, I don't know. She needed people to adore her.
Yeah, and she like kind of dumps him.
She's like, thanks for all the info, Gramps. I'm out.
Right. And
Have
I'm
fun
like,
with the UFOs.
But she stays in Crestone and so does he. And maybe they just stop seeing each other. I don't know what happens to him exactly.
But we jump like 6 years ahead because now it's 2012.
Yes.
There was this man named Michael Silver. He was on the chat room we were playing in.
There's no assholes or bitches in heaven, dear ones. You gotta let it all go. It's all heart, no mind.
Amy and Michael, I guess they decided that they were going to get together. So he came from Brooklyn, took the train all the way out, kind of whisked her away into their own little place.
We get the sense that this is why she broke up with Amareth, because Amareth says, like, he kind of whisked her away to their own little place. And, like, that was the end of Amareth, because he didn't really care about being online.
Right.
And the followers, like...
But, like, they also say that Amy and Michael decide to team up, and, like, they actually... Like, Michael is kind of the business end of things we'll learn later down the road.
Right.
So Michael comes from Brooklyn, and, like, we learn he immediately names himself Archangel Michael.
Now... The, like, quote, like, real Archangel, if I remember correctly, like, he's kind of a badass, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he, like, the fighter about truth and justice? Like, I wouldn't fuck with Archangel Michael.
Archangels, no. I couldn't agree with these people don't fucking care. And I actually don't think Michael believes any of it. I think that Michael is in it because he sees dollar signs.
Well,
and he's able to, like, manipulate and... he's the only one who can, like, exploit Mother God.
Well, because he's a computer guy.
Yes.
He's a finance guy. He's
Yes.
pretty valuable if you want to start a business that lives online. Like, Amy wants to use him and he wants to use her.
He also apparently had cancer, which he believes Amy cured. Do we get more information on this?
No, Mary the journalist drops this in and we never hear about it again.
Oh, my God, because I guess he's fine.
Or did he have cancer to begin with?
Yeah, that's also a question.
That's a really great way to get vulnerable people online.
Yep.
The twin flames people did it too. They can cure everything. No, they can't.
And because the reporter also says, like, we're not really sure if he was the next father god. Like, we don't know.
She had a lot of father gods.
Amy was like a horny lady, and I love that about her. That is no shade. She loves hot guys. I don't think that there was like a spark between her and Michael. I don't think he was a father god. I think he was there to kind of run the money end of things.
Yes. So we're in Mount Shasta, California.
Yeah.
Mother God and Archangel Michael, not the real one, the fake one, are together. She left Amaranth for this new life.
Yeah.
And now we meet Andrew. And Andrew is like officially a former member.
I thought of you as soon as I saw the lower third, because we love a former anything.
And I'm like, Andrew, tell me everything.
Yeah.
Back in 2012, 2013, 2014, a lot of people were really beginning to research and find, what they believed to be true. I had been struggling with a painkiller addiction. I was in a place where I was trying to understand what was real and what wasn't.
Andrew gets really tied up in like the online world of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell you, there was a time 20 years ago where I was easily drawn into this too. Yeah. I would spend time on the internet, like the 9/11 conspiracy theories, before I realized how like awful and racist and all of that it was. Like when it was just a question of like what really happened, I was very intrigued. Like I think if you're like true crime minded, you're kind of interested in those things. It's like the D.B. Cooper of it all, the JFK assassination. Like these are interesting things to think about. But Andrew was like really lost.
And he didn't know, like you said, like he was trying to understand what was real and what wasn't. So like he started with the 9/11 conspiracy theories, and that led to aliens.
Yes.
And then that led to ancient Egypt and what he calls the banking families and these bloodlines that are still in control. It just spirals.
What people don't understand is like where like QAnon and like the January 6th riot, like where these people come from are communities online like this, because they're not necessarily.
We said this about the flat earthers. Sorry to interrupt you. But we said that same thing, this online echo chamber of like hatred and anger, because it is angry.
And they don't start out as bad people, or they're not bad people, but they get sucked into feeling a part of something.
Yes.
And then they are manipulated and told how to feel. And Andrew was very vulnerable to that.
Right. So, and like Amy was putting videos about conspiracy theories, saying things, the Vatican will be the first to bite the dust, then the central banking system will follow. Amy, what?
What are you, like, how does Amy know anything about the central banking system?
Robin Williams told her. I'm sorry. Like, that's what these people will tell you with a straight face.
Yeah.
Robin Williams directed it was mostly all his idea.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you know that we're being facetious, fam. Like, it wasn't really, Robin Williams is not with us.
Right. But Hope and Amber, what's her name?
I can't remember.
These people will be like, Robin was huge.
Right.
Robin,
he was a major part of the
planet. He was a major influence. Yeah. And that's like, it's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
It's not okay.
I started actually to have dreams every night that Amy was in. 4, 5, 6 nights in a row, she was in them every single night. She called me in a private chat and told me that she was having the same dreams.
Then, you know what? She's talked to the angels, and Robin Williams says, you got to get your ass here immediately.
Robin Williams says, get here now. I don't care how you get here. Just get here if you can.
To be fair, I'm being part of the problem bringing up Robin Williams, because right now it's just the angels.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So, and then it's like, so Andrew brought up, we don't really know exactly who brought it up first, but it's very clear, like, Andrew's just like, I keep dreaming about you. And she's like, oh my God, me too. You should come here.
He's like, I'm young and hot. You're young and hot. We both are into conspiracy theories. You're probably God. I'm coming.
Andrew leaves right away.
Yes.
He drives all night long. He gets to the house at 5:30 a.m. And he's like, I didn't know it at the time, but I was next in line to be the next father god.
Because he's hot. And like, I'm sorry, but like, that's all Amy cares about.
Well, this is Cult 101.
Yes.
Andrew gets here, and what happens? Amy and Archangel Michael, the fake one, have been on mushrooms for the last 36 hours.
36 hours.
This is Cult 101. They are feeding him drugs.
Yep.
Then Amy is complimenting him like crazy.
Well, because he says, I was given my fair share of the mushrooms, which is far more than anyone should ever take. He passes
Manson
out
did that,
for days.
like, whatever.
Yeah.
So Amy starts complimenting him. You're one of the most brilliant and brightest beings I've ever seen.
Yes.
And then she offers him sex.
And he says, you know, she was pretty, but I wasn't attracted to her. Then he said, I thought maybe that was one of the challenges and I accepted it. And I was like, is he gay?
And I'm like, wait, was he told it was a lesson? Did he have a choice in this?
I don't know.
We're not slowing down on this.
It's very predatory. Like her behavior toward, like he's not into her. She is really into him. If this were the other way around and it were the man doing this to the woman, like the predatory behavior would just be like...
He didn't want to have sex with her.
Yes.
He thought it was a lesson. He had sex with her anyway. And then after several months, he's like, our relationship was pretty good.
Right.
Wait a second.
And like he says she's very sexually charged, very passionate. He's like, and if I'm being frank, a little lazy.
Super lazy and selfish in bed. That tracks.
Money was tight, and I was getting $700 a week in unemployment. donating all of that to the team to help keep us afloat, keep us fed, keep, weed on the table. You were high from the moment you woke up to the moment you went to bed.
So that's the other thing about the cults is they take all your money. They make you work or they take whatever money you have.
They isolate you completely with all of these ideas. And then these ideas are the only ideas.
Well, and also not only is he keeping weed on the table, she's keeping him high from the minute he wakes up to the minute he goes to bed.
And they all are. And it's not just weed.
Right.
It's a lot of psychedelics. They're just hammered all the time.
Because, we'll find out that she has serious addiction problems, but she's keeping them all fucked up so nobody can think for themselves.
Exactly. So Andrew knows websites and marketing and social media. And Amy knew that before she invited him here.
Right.
This is the beginning of Amy blurring the lines of are you her friend? Are you working for her? Are you working with her?
Yep.
What is the power dynamic here? But Amy always ends up at the top.
And she always makes you think it's your idea.
Exactly.
He's like, wait a second. Oh my God, your website is called firstcontactgroundcrewteam.com. No. That's a mouthful. It doesn't make any sense.
Too wordy.
Why don't let's come up with a slogan. I don't know. How's Love Has Won?
So they come up with Love Has Won.
Yeah.
We don't know who actually came up with it. But Andrew's leading the marketing, and he's good at it.
He's really fucking good at it. And he says it puts him on the map as one of the preeminent spiritual groups. And things are just growing. And we see that they're getting 45,000 hits a day on the website. It's real that people are really finding them.
And now fake Archangel Michael was the money guy. If there was an account of any kind, it was in his name. Remember that.
So
it will be important later.
I knew that it would be because I'm I don't know if Archangel Michael believes in any of this except he sees Amy as a cash cow.
Right.
And he if he's in charge of the money and his name's on all the accounts, he can do all the stealing.
I don't know if he's hovering between the 3D and the 5D, if he's in 4D, but he's allowed to do 3D things have bank accounts. And every account that they have, remember this, is in Michael's name.
That could easily go the other way, Michael. That's not always a good thing,
I'm
sweetheart.
just saying, his name is on it all. So Amy is selling spirituality online. Her email is mothergod71s@gmail.com. Mothergod11111 at gmail.com. 7 ones.
What a great idea. You know what I mean?
But no, this is where this makes me crazy.
Yeah.
Because she's claiming that she can heal all of your medical
brain
issues.
Cancer.
We have a couple of testimonials on the brain surgeries. One was that they're feeling great. They're out of psychotic episodes. One was that their third eye started opening. So we are getting results from these.
She's calling it surgery, but really it's just she's talking to you online.
Yep.
And she's getting people to pay from $20 to $7,700, thousands of dollars, and then she's ooh, I can get money from this. And she spends her time spending all of this money on trinkets and flowers and bracelets and ill-fitting princess dresses.
But the thing about it, the brains of the operation are good because she had the idea. She knew she wanted to make money selling spiritual healings. She found Andrew, who was great at websites and great at marketing. She got him all out there.
Money guy.
Michael's the money guy.
She's got it made.
And it's now they've got all these tens of thousands of followers. And they all want, time with her. Her days are booked back to back to back.
And then that becomes currency.
Exactly.
Time with her, attention from her, a compliment from her, doing something good for her, that becomes very valuable currency.
I'm just not wired that way. I just don't understand how people can make themselves not the main character in their own lives that. But we see it happen to these people.
Yeah. Except for Andrew.
Yes.
Because Andrew's look,
Yes.
I never fully believed the whole mother God thing.
Oh my God.
And you weren't allowed to talk about it. And he's and the drugs were fun, but let's get real.
Yes.
I never felt like a father God. Because Amy would talk about how she's 100% pure light. There's nothing negative. There's no trauma. She's 100% perfect. And that's why she's mother God. She was also getting blackout drunk on a daily basis.
So that's what he's saying. He's she would talk to me about how she had no issues, no problems, no trauma, and then drink herself into oblivion.
Into oblivion.
And do we get more on that?
Yes.
Okay, because
much more.
The way they start, I've never heard in all of these psychedelic things, I've never heard anyone talk about using alcohol as a tool for joy and tapping into your spiritual side.
We will get into that at length.
Oh my God.
But Andrew was trying to pull her out of this because she was going to dark places. But then, when she would come down from it, people who when they drink, sometimes they go to a dark place.
Yes.
Right? I've had friends like that. Their face changes. It's very, very scary.
Yeah.
And he would try to pull her out of it and be remember how you were 100% pure light before and now you're not? Now, this is huge. So pull over, everybody.
On a couple of occasions, got her to admit that maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not Mother God. just in brief, fleeting moments, just like that. Just as quick as she admitted it, is as quick as it was gone.
This is massive.
Because, like, can you imagine, like, do you think she's in the shower by herself? Do you think she's, like, laughing at the idiots who believe that she's God? Or do you think she fully believes it?
No, I think she's like, this is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's only the three of them right now.
Yeah.
She's making a good amount of money. It's harmless.
Yeah.
I guess not really. I personally don't think so, but I think she's kind of like, this is pretty great.
I just cured that guy's brain cancer with my mind.
I wonder how long this is going to last.
Yeah.
That's where I think she's in the, I wonder how long I can do this phase.
Because the money is rolling in. I mean, like, she's probably making, like, it's like OnlyFans for
like,
spiritual weirdos.
Oh, my God. Yeah. But those moments of her being real with Andrew were few and far between, because Archangel Michael would swoop in and, as Andrew says, pull her back into delusion. And then he talks shit about Andrew to Amy. So Andrew's just like, no, like, this isn't real. What are we doing here?
But of course, Michael, my belief right now is that Michael just sees Amy as a cash cow, and he cannot have this guy, Michael, convincing her that she's anything other than what she believes that she is, because that's where all the money comes from.
Or even asking a question.
Yeah.
And so, like, either shut up or leave the group, so they kick him out of the cult. There's no room for any discussion or any other point of view, and that's another culty red flag.
But Andrew says she thought I was fighting her. It wasn't her I was fighting for her.
He was trying to save her.
And he goes, so I gave up. I mean, I couldn't do this for the rest of my life,
and you
right?
can't unless
No.
people, I mean, it's a cliche or a stereotype, but it's true. Like, if she doesn't want your help, you can't help her.
Yeah. Do you know what happens next? The cult is sitting around watching Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay. They're watching a Robin Williams movie because he's such a strong advisor to them.
I know.
They're watching Mrs. Doubtfire, like, talking back to, like, thinking they're getting messages from it.
It's so, like, what was the one?
The whole time.
Do you think they sat around and watching The Birdcage? Do you think the Birdcage was a big part of what they did?
Actually, no. Too gay.
Were they homophobic? Do we learn?
The Twin Flames people were, like, transphobic and homophobic.
Yeah.
But these people, no, there's, like, no gay stuff in this.
There's no gay stuff
Not
in
even
this.
The Birdcage.
I know. Which really pisses you off.
Unacceptable.
Which they're going to talk about Robin Williams as their main spiritual advisor, and there's no Birdcage.
Like, is Mrs. Doubtfire the only movie they watched?
Oh my God! Not even Jumanji.
I was going to say, a little Jumanji action.
Mork and Mindy?
Mork and Mins?
But now we get 5 minutes of don't question anything here, but question everything out there. And if we look crazy, it's because you're crazy.
It's so stupid.
And then, like, that terrifying Aaron woman is like,
sometimes creation looks a little messy and a little crazy. Sometimes you have to tear things apart in order to rebuild them.
It sounds like, Aaron, who are you convincing?
and
Me or you?
Where are your kids? Like, who's watching your kids? The kids feel monumentally unsafe in this environment.
I know. So it's 2018. Faith is a member of the cult. And she was before she joined the cult, she was doing her own spiritual work. She was clearing chakras and doing all of that.
Like, is that bullshit or is that real? Like, what's a chakra and how do you clear it?
No, I think I believe in it.
Okay.
I definitely, if you I'm not going to Crestone.
Right.
But I definitely believe in energy work and for sure.
That's what, like, this Faith person was doing. And she goes, but when I met Mom, this explosion happened in my body. My whole body was screaming, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you go from, like, calling her Mother God to Mom? Like, the mom thing.
I don't know.
They
how
talk
we get
about
there.
her the way I talk about my mom. Like,
Right.
it rolls
Mom.
off the tongue so easily.
Yeah. Mom.
Mom.
So Faith goes there.
Yeah.
And when she got there, it was just Mother God and the fake Archangel Michael. Andrew had already left.
Yes.
So again, it's a very, very small group. Now, this is where I get really upset when cults do this, because they're talking about, like, any physical illnesses you have are a symptom of energetic imbalance, and any physical pain you have is an ego energy. No. They know this is bullshit.
Yes.
Believe whatever you want. Honestly, believe whatever you want. Like, Amaranth is a perfect example of this.
Yep.
Be off the grid, smoke your weed, do whatever the fuck, believe in the vibrations, but don't take money from people who are in pain. When you lie to them and make them worse, you're actively telling people, don't go to the doctor.
I
And
know.
we will see this a lot in this. Do not go to a 3D hospital.
Yeah.
Do not go to a 3D doctor. Stop telling people with cancer.
I know.
And scientific, like, don't do that
And
for
way-
$70.
The way that she does it with such, like, conviction, like, what is your training here?
And there is none. What is her training?
So, you just told me how much you believe in it.
And then I said I'm not going to Crestone.
Okay, great.
You can't call, like, a healing session virtually with her a brain surgery.
No.
Stop doing that,
no,
Amy.
of
You're
course.
hurting people. And people who believe in this and they're just like, well, she can cure me. And then you're giving all of your money to her.
Right.
And then you're going to turn around and be so sick that you can't live anymore because, spoiler, how do you think she ended up in the fucking sleeping bag?
Oh, really?
She's not taking it. They don't believe in it.
Oh, my God.
That is dangerous.
Yeah.
To not believe inside and to lure people in with I can heal you from everything. It's dangerous.
But that was also the appeal for Amy of Faith, because Faith says when I got there, Amy was doing back-to-back-to-back sessions all day long. It was her whole life. And then once Faith gets there, she completely takes that over. Now all Amy's got to do all day is sit on Amazon.
Right. And buy ill-fitting princess dresses and, quote, trinkets.
And watch Mrs. Doubtfire.
Robin Williams said to Mom, like, we can amplify this. We can grow this. We can do more work if we have more people. So I told Mom we're going to have over 20 people here within a month.
They've got this big house in Crestone, and they're just like, they're live streaming everything all day long. And they're like, we're going to invite anybody and everybody. It's an open door policy. Anybody can come.
And the goal is 20 new people within a month. And this is where Hope comes in.
Oh.
Because Hope was living what she calls a subpar life.
Yes.
She's like, I wasn't even seeing any auras. So like, she said, I just had my heart and I could hear better when I smoked some weed. Again, okay, Hope.
Great.
That's it. Honestly, okay.
But she books one session with Faith, and Faith is like, you should come out to California and be with us. She just up and goes.
Yeah. So they're actively recruiting people.
Yes.
And so now we meet Aurora.
Who's been with us, like, she's from the beginning.
Yeah, but she grew up in a very rich part of South Florida. And in 2008, the recession hit. And she goes, and you realize that everything around you doesn't matter. Like, sometimes, kind of. But when people get sick, you know, they're just like, you realize, like, the little things don't matter. And it's all about the big stuff. Like, but she's co-opting that.
But then she goes to law school. I'm sorry that I have an expectation that somebody who goes to law school can
Graduate law school, it says.
Can, like, see through, she can see through, like, the charms of a cult. But no, because what she books one session with Faith, and Faith says to her, you know you're an archangel, right?
She goes, yeah, I know.
You know, who would Daisy would say that? Daisy, my daughter, would be like, Dad, I'm totally a fucking archangel.
But like, this is what I mean. These people, they talk about you have to get rid of the ego.
Yeah.
These people are just sort of waiting for someone to tell them how amazing they are. And I think everyone should feel amazing.
Yep.
That's not what I'm saying, but like, they're just looking. Maybe she was like, fuck law school. Maybe she was waiting, looking for an excuse to not do it anymore.
That's what I was saying. Like, these people are coming at vulnerable times. Like, we'll find out about Faith that her boyfriend broke up with her and she lost her job. She goes and joins the cult. Aurora is at the end of law school. Maybe she doesn't want to be a fucking lawyer.
Maybe she got forced it, or she like made it, and then now she's again like kind of ironic. Like maybe she's too far gone now, and she needs an out to get out of law school, so she's an archangel now.
Exactly. I mean, like the end of graduate school is a vulnerable time for people.
And then Faith is like, I just kept hearing Robin saying, "We're gonna need a bigger boat," and I'm like, Robin Williams wasn't in Jaws. That was Roy Scheider, but okay.
Also, Elmora, is that how you say his name?
Elmoira.
We get his backstory.
My dad was a carpet installer, and he got on Oxycontin. It killed him. It literally killed him. And I got into like just religion in general and gurus and different types of people that had wisdom that were showing people miracles. And I was like, I got to meet someone like this. I don't want to read this shit anymore. And I don't want to go to India to find it.
And what's wild is we are seeing these people show up at the house.
Arrive for the first time.
Because they're live streaming the whole thing.
Yeah, they were just like, everything was being filmed. Everything was being documented. And poor Erin, like, this woman is just a wreck. I'm sorry. Like, she doesn't really, like, I feel like she doesn't trust herself at all.
Yes.
And because she's so high strung about this. And it's like, but I thought love won.
But
like, I don't understand
You're
why.
talking about Erin, and all we know, she says, I packed up the van with my 4 kids and a puppy dog. I pulled up to the house. Michael opened the door and said, oh, you're here.
She, like, can't get through the story without crying.
But tell me what do you mean? Like, did you have a partner that you had those kids with? Does anybody in your family know where you are? Did you kidnap your own children?
I mean, we see her on the couch, like, crying, I guess, tears of joy. And she's, like, holding a little baby.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but the point is, these people in this house, they are so fucked up, they can't even see straight.
They are just partying and they're live streaming every minute of it.
And then, like, I think it's Faith who's like, alcohol is a true tool of joy if you use it in a conscious way. That's just the beginning.
I mean, as all the people are arriving, we're watching Amy, Mother God. She's just getting more and more fucked up.
And she's very drunk.
Yeah, I was going to say, because at one point, it looks like she would give anything to leave the party, but she can't. Because the party's all about her.
Yeah. But people are leaving the party straight to go empty their bank accounts and cashing out their 401ks to go, quote, bring it to mom.
That Buddha guy says, I went down to the bank, cashed out my 401k, brought a check back. And I'm like,
it's like, did you drive on LSD?
I know.
Honestly, like, how
I know.
dangerous is this group of people going to be? So this is very, very important. And I think if you watch this the first time, it's kind of easy to skate by it. This is super important because this is sort of like the crux of the whole vibe. So Hope is there, right?
Yeah.
And Hope is like, she's got like a chip on her shoulder. Like Hope has a lot going on.
When I arrived, I was obviously very timid, and I looked at them still not comprehending like, what is Mother God and who is this woman? When I asked the angels, I said, how am I supposed to interact with somebody calling themselves Mother God? And the angel said, be her best friend.
So immediately there's a power imbalance. Obviously, one of them says she's God, and the other one, wants to impress her and be her favorite, which everyone wants to do. Everyone wants to be the favorite.
Yes.
So Hope's goal is to be on Faith's level because Faith got to sleep on the floor in Mom's room. And so Hope's goal is to sleep on the floor next to Mother God.
Now, so this is what we've been screaming at each other all day before we started recording. These kinds of cults only work because they prey on vulnerable people.
Yes.
Like I was saying earlier, how do you erase yourself so much to the point that you are willing to be barely a recognizable character in your own life? All she wants to do is get that one compliment a day from Mother God, that one moment of recognition, because we learn, I just wrote, this is really sick. We learned that Hope says the only way I could figure out how to be of service was to clean. All I could do was clean. She would clean this woman's house all day, every single day.
And Amy would encourage it, saying, see this girl?
Yeah.
She cleans my entire house for me. And Hope found that motivating.
Yeah.
So, but it's a mutual, they're giving each other exactly what she needs. Amy needs to be adored and worshipped, and everything needs to be clean. And Hope needs someone to tell her that she's doing a good job.
Yes.
Hope needs to be the favorite. Hope needs to feel like the best friend. And Faith and Elmoira, they all need the same thing. But Amy needs exactly what they're giving. It's a mutual.
It's
a mutually beneficial, but extremely detrimental relationship.
I mean, it is really scary to watch because I know these fucking
people. I know these fucking people too. They absolutely exist. But like, she's using you.
Right.
She's using you. Like, okay, so like Michael has the bank accounts and Andrew does the computers and Hope does the cleaning and Faith does the cooking.
And the hot guy is for the sex, so we call him Father God.
She's just like employing you, but these people don't see it as I'm working for her. There's no like anything being exchanged other than this mutual, like, I need you and you need me.
Or like,
but they're not saying it.
No, and it's like, Hope even said,
Mom was just getting energetically overwhelmed. It was getting to be too much. She had a point where she had a, kind of a freak out, and I was there, and I told her, I'm like, you need to put yourself first because you've done everything. Like, this is about you if you have to put yourself first. And she was like, I've never done that before.
Do you see what's happening?
I know.
Amy's making them think it's all their idea.
Yes.
And they are feeding her ego and she is feeding theirs. And this is a disaster. It's a disaster because Hope, so now she's cleaning, right?
Yes.
And now because the fact that Amy would be like, see what Hope is doing? Hope's amazing. She cleans my entire house. Hope's like, more. I need more of that.
Yes.
So she takes it upon herself to now she starts massaging Amy's feet.
Yeah.
She starts, quote, having this caretaker role. She's brushing her hair. She's doing her makeup. And now Hope is like, I did it.
Yes.
Maybe I can sleep on the floor now.
But it's also like she never
on.
fucking speaks. Hope is a mess. If you see a picture of Hope before she came, she was beautiful and she looked well put together. And now she's just a mess. And it's all because she does not exist to herself anymore.
Exactly.
She's only there to be in service to Amy.
Exactly.
Because the thing is, Amy, who's never put herself first, wants to go live every single day, all day long with all of her disciples.
Right. And now they're live streaming literally 24 hours a day.
24/7.
So Hope's mom starts watching these live streams.
And her name is Debbie, and she's here.
She's here. And she explains, like, Hope had just lost her job. Her boyfriend broke up with her.
So very vulnerable. That's when she found Faith, and Faith was like, come out to California.
And so Hope's mom would watch all the streams, and she's like, I knew right away it was a cult. And she watched her daughter in real time get more and more involved.
Yes.
Because at first, Hope was really quiet.
Yeah.
And then she was constantly on camera. And it's sad because she's so angry.
Yes.
She's like really intense and really aggressive, especially because she's sitting next to Faith, who just has this like smile on her face.
Yep.
And Hope is just like, she's ranting and raving about how amazing Trump is.
And QAnon, but QAnon is really for Queen, for Mother God.
And Mother God, like Hitler has been working for the light. Like these people, now it's like, oh, fuck. Like,
and they don't even hear themselves. Like they're just talking and they don't hear themselves.
So we're super ethereal.
Yes.
But we're Trumpers.
Right.
And we're QAnon people.
Right.
And we're talking about chakras and archangels, but we're Trumpers and QAnon people. And we're like talking about Hitler.
Right.
Like,
And we're back with Debbie, Hope's mom, and she's saying like they were really good at preying on vulnerable people, but they were also really good at figuring out ways to make money.
But like, what about this shows that love has won? I don't feel any love at all.
I know.
Everyone's really angry and they're money hungry. Like, where's Amarith?
I know.
I miss Amarith. He had the right idea.
I know. My question is like, what is your day like? But then we learn their day is
online.
making candles and hoodies and essential oils. They're putting together boxes. Like, what was that sponsor we used to have?
FabFitFun.
They're putting together like FabFitFun boxes.
There's also the sacred gifts from Mom that she personally picked out.
There's sage, there's cleansing tools in there.
We're going to do different alchemy with different hair types. This is our Scorpio box. And we'll pick out a crystal for each box. So we'll ask the angels and we'll surprise you with one of those.
Plus a letter from the Galactics.
Plus a painting.
The letters are written from Robin Williams.
And it's like there are so many vulnerable people out there who are really suffering, who really need to feel seen and really need to feel a connection, and they're bamboozling these people.
Body butter, supplements, sacred gifts from Mom, letters written by Robin Williams. Fuck right off. That is so, like, how dare you?
I know. Letters written by Robin Williams.
How dare you? Zelda should sue them.
I know. Is that his wife?
His daughter.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so rude.
Yeah.
And so disrespectful. But here's the thing we have to stop on. They're also offering colloidal silver.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about colloidal silver a lot. So they're like, no one makes colloidal silver like Love Has Won. Yeah, because it's not safe.
And is it like you ingest it?
So, yeah, the FDA took it off the shelves in 1999.
Oh, wow.
As per the internet, the U.S. FDA has warned that colloidal silver isn't safe or effective for treating any disease or condition. Additionally, the FDA and the Federal Trade Commission have taken action against a number of companies for making misleading claims about colloidal silver products. Colloidal silver can cause serious side effects. So they are telling you that this is a cure-all. They are making and selling something that is provably bad for you.
And they're saying that the pharmaceutical industry, it's so good and it can cure almost anything, so the pharmaceutical industry shut it down.
So you have cancer?
Yeah.
Buy this colloidal silver, shipping and handling.
Right.
Don't go to a doctor. They are killing people.
Yeah.
They are actively telling people not to go to a 3D doctor. Look, is the healthcare system fine?
Right.
But you can't, don't lure these people in and have them then not listening to science because you want to make a buck on something that the FDA has deemed unsafe.
Yeah. I mean, it's terrifying because nobody does any research. It's like the Joe Rogan of it all, like buying his fucking supplements, you know?
He has supplements.
Oh my God. Alex Jones, like that's what they all sell.
They have supplements?
Yes.
That is horrible.
Yes.
But even one of them is like, in other words, come order your Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I know.
We don't make Kool-Aid jokes.
You get really mad about it.
I get really mad about
I
Kool-Aid
know.
jokes because they fed the Kool-Aid to kids who didn't want it.
I know.
So fuck that. We don't do Kool-Aid jokes. But like, that's a little too self-aware, everyone.
I know.
Like, they know.
No, right, yes.
And then they're like, I know everyone thinks we're a cult, but we're totally not. Take this colloidal silver. I know. Come join Mother. Robin is waiting for you. Like,
Robin
please.
is writing you letters.
So here's how this episode ends.
That's the thing. People think Mama's so crazy. He's crazy.
What's your name?
What's my name? Father of all creation.
It ends with us meeting, quote, the final Father God, and he introduces himself as the Father of all creation. He is wearing an ankle bracelet.
And somebody says, if it hadn't been for him, Amy would still be with us.
Now, this guy, for all my Bob's Burgers people out there, he looks like Gyro from Bob's Burgers. Now, Gyro he taught Tina capoeira, or as they call it, sexy dance fighting. He is shirtless. He has long brown hair. He never wears shoes, and he's kind of into he looks like Gyro from Bob's Burgers, and it's the only thing I can think about until you realize that this guy's evil.
Well, because one of them says, like, you thought that we were crazy. No, this guy is crazy.
Let's.
Okay.
Are we splitting hairs here? I'm sorry.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
It's bad and it's dangerous, but it's like, I understand, like, even with Nexium.
Yes.
Nexium was billed as like a self-help thing.
Uh-huh.
It didn't start as the sex cult where they were branding women and the starving people and this like working all these hours and keeping you up. It didn't start like that. This already very quickly, it seems, started with like exploiting people and stealing money from people.
Yes. And like knowingly harming people.
You can't claim Love Has Won and everything is about love when you're selling harmful things or like fake body butter.
Uh-huh.
Like you have to, a little bit of you has to know like, we're just doing this for money, right? Like If it started with the Galactics, I'd be like, they just really believe this. But it became about the money right away. And that is like, how are you not seeing these red flags?
Right.
Right? Well, we're here, everyone.
Here we go.
You asked for it.
Fam, thank you so much for listening to episode 1 of our coverage of Love Has Won. Yeah. The other 2 episodes are live right now over on our Patreon. If you just got to hear our take on the rest of these bonkers episodes, go right now.
If you understand how we sort of just like spiraled.
This is not a spoiler. Like, she dies. Like, you know that going
that's
into
how
episode
it started.
1. They travel across state lines with her body for like 5 days. They keep
full weekend at Bernie's.
It's a full
weekend at Bernie's.
Like, legitimately weekend at Bernie's.
It's really wild. It's like, it's a whole lot of things. It's everything.
Yeah. So head over to Patreon to get those now. You can also get over 450 full ad-free bonus episodes. It's where we cover this series. So it's like serial.
Like Natalia Grace, we're doing Natalia Grace. And Lost Women of Highway 20, we're doing the Twin Flames thing. We're doing Still Missing Morgan.
Tiger King and The Staircase.
Wild Crime and Love Fraud.
Making a Murderer. Remember that one?
Yeah, Lorena,
right. There's like the Scott Peterson one where people are saying he might be innocent.
Yeah, the Lacey Peterson one.
Wild. Yeah, sorry. I do that every time.
But I obnoxiously correct you, but I'm standing by it. It's the story of Lacey Peterson.
Correct. So once again, it's patreon.com/truecrimeobsessed. And we love you. That's all.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And, do whatever self-care you got to do after this episode.
For
it is
sure.
wild. We love you. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.